Who's actually going to get the most out of a dedicated glute machine? And who should walk away before they spend a chunk of their budget? If you're wondering whether a commercial-grade piece of equipment belongs in a home garage, or if you're just looking for a reliable way to add serious glute work without the awkwardness of cables and plates, that's the question I'm trying to answer today. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. And I'm going to walk through the kind of daily routine that makes this machine either a game changer or an unnecessary expense. First off, the hesitation most people feel isn't about the price so much as the reality of fitting a bulky steel frame into a personal space and actually using it consistently. The Unmeriker Glute Trainer claims a 227 kilograms weight stack and a carbon steel tube frame that feels like it could survive a busy commercial gym. That sounds impressive until you picture the footprint of a 3 millimeters thick rectangular tube, the metal legs, and the attached plates. If you have a dedicated workout room, a garage with a concrete slab, or at least 3 feet of clearance on each side, the machine will sit comfortably. If you're living in an apartment or a small basement with limited floor space, the practical trade-off is that you'll spend a lot of time moving it around or negotiating with the ceiling for clearance when you try hip thrusts or cable variations. What I found most useful is thinking about how you actually train glutes. Most home users rely on squats, lunges, or resistance bands because they're flexible and cheap. The Glute Trainer is a hip compound machine that isolates the glutes and hips through a seated hip extension motion. That means you can load the stack up to a level that matches a barbell squat without the need for a spotter. And the smooth plate selector lets you dial in increments that feel natural for progressive overload. If you're someone who already does barbell hip thrusts but hates loading and unloading plates every set, this could be a time saver. On the flip side, if you're comfortable with free weight hip thrusts and have a power rack, the machine adds another piece of hardware without necessarily giving you a better contraction. Its advantage is really the convenience of a fixed path. The weight capacity of 227 kilograms is where the value really shows up for heavier lifters or for those who want to train partners. Because the stack is internal, you won't have to worry about plates slipping or uneven loading. In a commercial setting, you might see multiple people rotating through the machine, and the same principle applies at home if you have a training partner who wants to push past 200 kilograms. For a typical gymgoer whose max glute press is around 100 kilograms, you'll probably never touch more than half the stack, but having the headroom means you won't outgrow the machine in a few months. Now let's talk about the materials. The frame is made from carbon steel, which gives it a sturdy feel. The upholstery uses PU and nylon, and the moving parts are coated with rubber and glass fiber. In everyday use, that translates to a machine that doesn't wobble when you push through heavy reps and doesn't make a lot of noise, which is a plus if you share a space with others. However, the same heavy-duty construction also means the machine is on the heavier side to move. Unpacking it is a two-person job, and if you're the kind of buyer who likes to rearrange your workout zone every few weeks, you'll find the relocation effort a bit of a hassle. Practical strengths become clear when you look at consistency. Because the motion is guided, you can focus on squeezing the glutes rather than worrying about balance or form drift. Users who have struggled with hip thrust technique report that the fixed seat and pad keep the hips in the correct range of motion, making it easier to feel that burn in the gluteus maximus. If you're someone who has tried to build glutes with resistance bands, but ends up fighting the band's elasticity, the weight stack provides a linear resistance that you can trust session after session. That reliability is especially helpful for athletes who need to track exact loads week to week. On the downside, the guided path also limits the range of motion compared to free weights. If you're aiming for a very deep hip extension or want a very foot positioning for different glute fiber activation, the machine's preset seat and foot plate might feel restrictive. There's also the matter of adjusting the seat height and back support. The knobs are functional, but you'll need to spend a few minutes fine-tuning them each time someone new steps on. And because the machine focuses solely on glutes and hips, you'll still need a separate setup for upper body or core work, which can feel like a fragmented gym if you're hoping for an all-in-one solution. So who should buy? If you're a serious strength trainer, a power lifter, or a bodybuilder who already tracks progressive overload and wants a